Oh, hey folks. Oh, I'm at least tired. It's because I put in 12 hours yesterday. From 11 to 11, I worked on the new cards and finally posted them at 11 o'clock. Pretty crazy. I'll tell you this. If you're going to run a Kickstarter, the first thing you need to do is take your ego and put it into a small little box. Because it is really important to listen to your backers. Or the people that aren't backing. I mean, some of it you can ignore because people, there's a lot of trolls on the internet. But sometimes, especially if you get different things that people are saying, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like this, I don't like that. But when you start hearing it from multiple people, and whether or not they're an asshole or not, it might be true. So the artwork for Role Vs Roll was pretty crappy. I knew this because I needed to get a decent computer and a decent Wacom tablet to make this happen. So I haven't been able to finish the entire deck, but I've got a template now. I've made it work, which is probably why it took me 12 hours, is because the damn thing takes a freaking forever. Sorry, I'm not bitter. So here's what happened. I took all the advice that everyone had said and put it all together and said, look, here's the changes that need to happen. And I did them. I did exactly that. I paid attention to everything that everyone said. I did filter out some crap from people that were obvious trolls, but other than that, I paid attention. And what I ended up getting was some pretty awesome stuff. So what happened is that with the 12 hours since we posted, we've gotten more backers and some big backers. Like some of the top, the higher tiers are people are backing for the higher tiers. We've had that happen all within the last 12 hours. Like more backers than the last week we've gotten in the last 12 hours because I paid attention. So I'm real excited about this. There's a chance that we may not cancel this project. It all depends on what happens in the next couple days. Yeah, I've had 2 interviews today. I've worked on doing some other Twitter promotion and actually talking to people, not just, hey, look at my project, look at my project, look at my project. I've actually tried to be a real human instead of, someone trying to get everyone to buy something. And it's all starting to pay off. Okay, so I want to show you the new artwork. Okay, so the first one is the Be the Best card. Now, part of one of the reasons why we use this one is, first of all, it's my wife. I love my wife. And she looks pretty badass with that bow. And if you know her, you'll understand that, yes, she is pretty badass with a bow. So we did some modification on this, and I'm pretty happy with it. So this card here is used to entice a player to talk about what they're doing on their off time. So not when there's the middle of a battle, not when there is something exciting going on, but maybe sitting around the campfire. So where this might be, they wake up in the morning and they do their morning katas, or they might do, practice their sword cuts. They might do some target practice or study the Book of Shadows or whatever it is, but going into the process about what it means to become better at whatever skills they have. So this is a good card here. I like the new design, which, by the way, I want a special thanks to Bendak. So Bendak is this graphic designer out of Tasmania, who is basically volunteered some time and sent me some designs. He didn't have to do that. This is what he does for a living. So the fact that he donated some of his time to do that is really huge. Now, we didn't actually use his designs for this, but his work inspired me to create the current design. So I really, even if we don't use his work, I really want to thank him. So guys, check him out. I'm going to put some links in the show notes. And you need to go visit him. I'm sure he will accept, work from overseas if you guys were to give it to him. Okay, so the next card we're gonna do is Rage. Now, what I love about this card is this is Jade. Now, Jade, she is one of our main players. She is just a awesome role player. She really goes into character. In fact, one of the things that we've talked is that she can pretty much only process one other character at a time. So when I'm like, hey, look, I've got Numenera, she's like, I'm still working on the Shadowrun character. And that's not bad. It just means she's really into it, and it's awesome. It's awesome because the backstory that she has is so rich. And this one really inspired because her storyline is that she's a former pirate and a space pirate, and her character is dealing with the fact that she doesn't want to rejoin the crew, and she can get pretty violent when it comes to the old crew members. In fact, there was a moment that she shot her ex-fiance in the back, NPC character, by the way. But yeah, so I really love this one. And if you notice that I've worked on making them look more cartoony instead of just using a photograph, that's actually deliberate. We've decided that we wanted a more cartoon feel, more of a comic feel with that, and I thank Imp for that concept because she's the one that actually did the original card. And now we've got I Have a Secret. Now this is Jade's boyfriend, and we love Ilya. Ilya is just an awesome guy, and he shows up with Jade, and both of them showed up to do a photo shoot for this, and they had a blast. I've got a ton of photos that I wish I could show you because they're just hilarious. But they're not going to end up on the cards because, that's how photography works. You take 500 photos and you keep three. I'm tired. So this card here is basically being a snoop, is to go through and find something that is sneaky about another player. Be that you get them to confide in you or you sneak through their bag. This would be a great card for a thief to play without actually stealing anything. Because if you steal something, then, that kind of makes the other players a little grumpy. But if you're just being a snoop, that can actually add some character design. Okay, so the next part, we're actually going to talk about Role Vs. Roll. Yes, this is the Role Vs. Roll episode. And what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about how the game is actually played. So what you do is that each player draws 3 cards. Now the GM can choose more cards or less cards depending on what they have. Currently, Role vs. Roll has 30 cards. We have plans for up to 50. Now, from there, what will happen is that the player immediately starts to look at these 3 cards and start to wonder which one would best fit their character. So they have to start thinking about their character even before they play the cards whatsoever. This can be, we have different cards that are like Action Hero, or I'm Afraid of This, or, Rage, where you just lose it. And they're all designed to add more to the character. Now, from there, they got to pick one that best fits their character. And once they figure that out, then what will happen is that they'll keep that card, and they're going to hide it from everybody. During the game session, they're going to try and find a way to add that into the role. So, for example, for Rage, if they picked Rage, if they encounter something like they discovered these, orcs are now attacking this village and they killed a child, perfect time to go and just rage. Okay, so that would fit the character, and it would be subtle because no one else would realize, because that's an appropriate situation, especially if you can find a way that it fits the character. Now, at the end of the game, everyone tries to guess which card you have. Now, this is optional. Some of the playtesters are not using this mechanic. Some of them are, and they're loving it. So I recommend trying both to find out which works with your system. But this mechanic, basically what it does is that it keeps it so the players are not showboating all the time. So this keeps from the 2.5 hour conversation about how he draws his sword. This keeps it to a minimum, because if he talks about it for 2.5 hours, I bet you have the distinctive style card. So that's kind of what that's for. That's a mechanic that's designed to keep things down to a minimum. Now, if nobody guesses, you get maximum points. Sometimes there are bonuses that the GM can determine that, you get extra points for that. Now, these points are supposed to be used for your character to make it enticing, so even murder hobos would be like, ooh, that might be worth doing it, so I can get these extra points. Now, in Shadowrun, I recommend doing either Edge or Karma. In Numenera, I'm thinking it might be a good idea for XP. For games like GURPS, XP would be appropriate, or skill points. The idea is that the game system's designed to work with anything. So, that's it. Those are the rules. In fact, all the rules fit on one card, which I really like. Everything else is optional. Oh, I am exhausted. I have had almost no sleep. You'd think that a vacation that I would actually get some sleep. So, we're not going to do shout-outs. I'm going to take a nap.